We'll be starting a session sometime. So basically we'll be again discussing a few sums, try to see how to go about solving, approach it, and then get the answer to it, right? So I would want you to try solving the sums. Look, the idea is to get better methods, but the best way to get methods is to try something on your own and then get the answer, than just looking at the video passively. So try on your own, see if you can get the answer and then work on it. So anyone who's writing the aptitude test, because we're taking questions on Quant is a part of any aptitude test which is there. So either you're looking for a job or a MBA entrance examination, it should help you in either way, right? So session is important because we'll be discussing shortcut methods. So shortcut approaches of solving faster definitely helps to, go about getting better sums, better methods. But yes, it's not only listening that will help you, but you will have to go about trying to implement these methods on your own. Yeah, hi Kazi. Yeah, we take a few sums, we'll try to understand the concept, but yeah, let's start with a sum. Go through it, try to answer. If you have any questions, queries, you can put in the chat box. So we are talking about time taken for a sum to become 3 times itself in both the cases, before and after. That means principal to 3p, 3 times itself. And what you get in between is simple interest. Simple interest is same in both the cases. Remember, simple interest is same in both the cases. So you know the formula of simple interest. Use the formula of simple interest and try to get the answer. Yeah, if you have any queries, you can definitely ask anything, any questions, any queries on anything, please definitely feel free to ask. Yeah. So simple interest is same in both the cases because principal becomes 3 times amount, same amount. So interest is both same in both the cases. If we take first P and R upon 100. In the second case, this, if you look at whatever it is said, the simple interest becomes 1.5 times what it is. That means R becomes 3 upon 2 times R. I have to find number of years, P upon 100. 100 gets cancelled, P gets cancelled. So you get N1, R is also gets cancelled. You get N1 is equal to 2/3 N. So the time period becomes 2/3 of the original time period, which means percentage reduction will be 33.1/3%, B option. Okay, that means 1/3 reduction. 1/3 reduction is 33.33%. So the basic funda between these is that when the product of two things are constant, then they inversely proportional. When the product of two things are constant, so here number of years and rate of interest are constant product because principal and amount is the same, right? Principal and amount is the same, so P is same, amount is the same, so N and R is constant. So if N and R is constant, so they will be inversely proportional. So if R becomes 3 upon 2 times, so N will become 2 upon 3 times. Okay. If R becomes 3 upon 2 times, N will become 2 upon 3 times. 3 upon 2 R, 2 upon 3 N will become NR. So if it becomes 2 upon 3 times, that means the reduction from the original value will be 1/3 reduction. 1/3 reduction is 33.33%. So this product is constant is a very important concept. Understand and know it. It is useful in a lot of sums. I mean, here we are using it, but it's normally useful in work, somewhere time space distance. There it's quite useful. When the product is constant, even in ratios, product is constant, they are inversely proportional to each other. and next we are solving inequality. I will be putting this video on the portal. You can go to the video, try and understand it, because same repetition may not help. So just go to the explanation again. Hopefully you'll be able to understand. If specific concept you don't understand, please ask. But repetition doesn't make sense. So you can just go to the video again. Inequality. The best way to solve inequality is using options. That's what I put it. Just substitute the option is one of the good ways of trying to solve inequality. Also, when you solve inequality, I normally recommend to make it equal to. So if I say this, you can make it as 1 upon x minus 2 equal to 3 upon x minus 3. Normally what I say is you substitute the option and it has to be equal on both the sides. When you substitute the option, it has to be equal on both the sides. Now I can't substitute 2 and 3. The reason I can't substitute 2 and 3 because denominator becomes 0. You can't substitute it. You substitute the other values which are there and it should become equal. Okay, I'm saying it's a borderline condition. When you substitute the option, it has to be equally. For example, if I substitute 1, that's the easiest to substitute. What happens? I get 1 upon 1 minus 2, which is minus 1, and 3 upon 1 minus 3, which is minus 2 upon 3. Not equal. So 1 cannot be part of the answer. I can eliminate A option, I can eliminate D option because both has 1. Okay, I can eliminate A, I can eliminate D because both has 1. Because when I substitute 1, it doesn't become equal on both the sides. That's how you solve inequality. You put it's called something like a borderline case. When you substitute the options, okay, you should get equal on both the sides. But when I substitute 1, it doesn't give you equal on both the sides. So A and D option ruled out. Next, let me substitute 3 by 2. So 1 upon 3 upon 2 minus 2 and 3 upon 3 upon 2 minus 3. So if I substitute this, becomes 1 upon half, which becomes 2. This becomes 3 minus half actually, minus 2. This becomes 3 upon minus 3 upon 2, which is also minus 2, equal on both the sides. Since it is equal on both the sides, therefore 3 upon 2 has to be part of the answer. You can directly mark the answer. 3 upon 2 has to be part of the answer. You can directly mark C as the answer. So this is a borderline case about inequality. A lot of inequality sums can be easily solved using this concept. Okay, just substitute the option, you get the answer. Okay, and this is when you substitute the borderline case. You get it equal on both the sides. If it's not equal, then it can't be part of the answer. Because when we substitute 1, we realize that it was not equal on both the sides. So 1 couldn't be the answer. But we substitute 3 upon 2, we realize that it was equal on both the sides. So 3 upon 2 has to be part of the answer. Based on that, you get C option as the answer. not a very difficult concept. You have the ratio of 1:2:3. Now the heaviest piece, which is 3, you're breaking up into 1:2:3:4. From there, lightest is 1 out of total 10. The lightest is 1/10 or 0.3. Okay, lightest you're breaking up as 1 out of total 10. It will be 0.3, 0.6, 0.9, 1.2. That's how you break it up. Lightest is 0.3. Now 0.3 stands for 24 grams. Cross multiplication. Cross multiplication again is a useful concept. To total 6 stands for how much? 0.3 stands for 24 grams. So 6 stands for how much? If you look at this is into 20, or therefore this also will be into 20, which will give you 480 grams as the answer. Right? So 3 you're going to break up in a ratio of 1, 2, 3, 4. Smallest will be 1/10 of it. 1/10 of 3 is 0.3. So 0.3 stands for 24 grams. Total 6 will stand for 480 grams. Okay, so a good way to solve these type of sums is assume length, breadth and height as 10, 10, 10. That's the best way to do it. So that means the volume is 1000. You can take it as x, y, z also. Now the length is decreased by 20%, so 8. Breadth is decreased by 25%, so 7.5. So what should be the height? Okay, so the volume is maintained 1000. So 8 into 7.5 into, let's say, the new height is equal to 1000. Height is equal to 1000 upon 8 into 7.5. This becomes 125 upon 7.5. Remove the point. 1250 upon 75. 25 3s are 25 5. 50 upon 3. 50 upon 3 is nothing but 16.66. So from 10 it has gone to 16.66, which is 66 2/3% increase. Okay, from 10 it has gone from 16.66, which is nothing but 66 2/3% increase. You can take length, breadth and height, LBH, or as I said, one good way normally is take numbers. L10, breadth 10, height 10, total 1000 volume. This decreases by 20%, 25%, becomes 8 and 7.5. New height BH, solve it, you get H as 16.66. So from 10 to 16.66 is 66.66% increase. That's the answer you get. Looks tough, but let me just put this that it is, you need to know triplets. Some of the triplets is 3, 4, 5, 5, 12, 13, 7, 24, 25, 8, 15, 17. there is also something called 20, 21, 29. Even if you don't know 20, 21, 29, you can, when you draw, you can make out that and check out whether it's a right angle triangle. So the only way you can find a right angle triangle is by being at a right angle triangle. By finding the area is by knowing it's a right angle triangle. $14, $15, $6. The first step normally in this case is try to see for the right angle triangle. If you look at this, length is 20, this is 21, this is 29. You can use Pythagoras sum. 20 square is 400, 21 square is 441, 29 square is 841. If you look at it, it satisfies. So you know it's a right angle triangle. So area of a right angle triangle is half into product of perpendicular sides. Half into 20 into 21, which will come to 210. That's the answer. The area of a right angle triangle is half into product of perpendicular sides, which is half into 20 into 21. So whenever in geometry, they will expect some simple figures. They will not expect complex calculations as well. So always look out for simple figures like right angle triangle, etc. to find the answer. It normally works. Right. So with this we finished. So one is we talked about a right angle triangle and tried to figure it out how to solve it. I always identify simple figures in geometry. Second, and here we looked at assuming numbers 10, 10, 10 becomes easier to solve. Here we just took the numbers as it is, ratios. So you don't have to convert to numbers something and then cross multiply. Cross multiplication is an important concept. Here again inequality, just substitute the options, you will get the answer. It becomes easier to solve. Right? And here two things are, product is constant, they are inversely proportional to each other. You can try to solve, you will get the answer. Right? So go through these concepts, try to implement this in some different sums. That then is where you learn the whole concept. Fine. Good night and see you again next week at the same time. Yeah, it is okay to go with a passage while solving question, but do it as less as possible. Don't do it frequently. Not